It's almost sleep time, so I'm just winding down with some bedtime tea. I've had a couple of friends ask me what I actually drink in order to fall asleep well at night. There are two teas that I use. The main one before bed is the Puka Nighttime Organic Dreamy Bed of Oat Flower, Lavender and Lime Flower. That's this one here. I brought this along from London. I've tried a number of nighttime teas and I feel like this is the most effective one for me and people who I have offered this tea to. I didn't want to go on a mission here looking for a good tea to put me to sleep, so it was just easy to bring it along. Plus it's really lightweight. Another tea that I take during the day when I want to be nice and relaxed but I don't want to fall asleep is another Puka tea bag. It's called the Tulsi Clarity. It's a pink one. Let's get that out the way. I realised I haven't really sat down to think about my journey to Melbourne. I'm starting my placement tomorrow, so I just wanted to summarise and reflect on my experiences over the last couple of days. Firstly, I'm still quite shocked that I am in Australia, literally the other side of the world. Growing up, it was a big deal for my family to go abroad to anywhere. If we did leave the UK, it would be to go see relatives in my mum's country. Even then, we saw them once every decade. And I'm just going to say it straight, it's the financial aspect that I'm shocked about. It's the financial reasons that I thought I couldn't get to a certain place. It's the financial reasons behind why I thought that I shouldn't even enter university. But I'm here. And the big reason behind that is I've been working my butt off day and night. During the day, I'm studying. Okay, I looked away. During the day, I sometimes study, and in some evening and nights up until 3, 4, 5 a.m. I'm doing paid work. Over the last few years there have been times where I'd finish my shift at 2 in the morning, I'd get home at 3 a.m. and then I'd have to be at my placement for 8, 9 a.m. Quite frankly, it's not been easy, but we are focusing on the good. I'm grateful that I was and still am a broke bitch. It's because I'm a broke bitch that I've been able to develop skills and hobbies that bring me enjoyment such that I'm able to add value in my life and get contentment and happiness out of it. Another thing I've been reflecting on over the last few days is how grateful I am for everything that's happened in my life. I feel that so often we take a situation as either good or bad. But in all these situations, there's a component of both. Usually when we deem a situation as bad, it might be, say, 80% bad, but there's still that 20% of goodness you can find in that. Whenever there's an adverse event in my life, I try to look for that tiny percent of that good, and often those are in the form of lessons. I feel like it's from such lessons that I'm able to achieve growth in my life, and that is something to feel very content about. And I'm grateful that I'm having this time and space away from London's bullshit in order to remind myself of how far I've come in my personal life. I've got tears in my eyes. The last year, point 5, has been a really hectic time for me in my personal life. I have had a lot of changes in my environment, and therefore I've had to adapt and change myself as a person so that I could keep up with such changes. Adapting is probably the word I'm looking for. I've been evolving. To what Pokemon, only time will tell. Achieving growth emotionally as well as spiritually takes a lot of time as well as mental energy. What I have been in need of is a real break. A break away from certain responsibilities, a break away from the environment that constantly floods my mind with burdens and responsibilities. A break where I can feel genuinely free to think of how and of what I want to. A break where I can be myself. During the last few days, I've minimized the time I spent on social media, and I've also been pretty unavailable to my friends and family. The main reason for this is I was on the plane, duh. Another reason is the apart hotel I'm at has free Wi-Fi, but only 1 gigabyte a day. I can't even wipe my butt with 1 gigabyte of data. By the time I'm done scrolling through my phone in the toilet, that's 1 GB gone. The other reason is you've probably heard of this whole disconnecting with people in order to reconnect with oneself. That's the goal here. On a separate note, let's talk about what I've actually been up to activity-wise. The flight from London to Singapore was uneventful. I had a minor hiccup transferring between 2 really nearby terminals in Singapore. During my flight from Singapore to Melbourne, for the first time on a plane, I watched a movie. I watched this horror movie called Pet Sanctuary. No, it was called Pet Cemetery, but spelt weirdly. I was actually really scared during the movie. I was there with my blanket actually curled up, and whenever there'd be a scary bit, I'd physically jump. Obviously, there was someone next to me, and she kept looking at me like, why are you flinching? There's nothing scary on your screen. Okay, that's your opinion. I'm scared of ghosts, okay? Can you hear my stomach crumbling? At this rate, we're going to end up doing some ASMR type shit with my stomach. Immediately after I got off my plane in Melbourne, I came straight to this apart hotel. Apart hotel because it's an apartment and hotel into one. I got here about 6:30 in the morning. And I said to the receptionist, you know, I'm quite early. Is there any possibility that there are any rooms that are free? And they were like, what do you mean? Your room's obviously free. You were supposed to come yesterday. Excuse me, why are you telling me I just paid for an entire night's stay at an apart hotel? For no reason. And I'm like, no, I booked it for Friday. And they're like, yeah, it's Saturday. For real? Don't make my mistake. On that day I went to buy a local SIM card. I didn't have any luck. I went to get some food and then I tried to have a 1-hour nap, and the 1 hour turned into 8 hours. I edited a video. I woke up at 6 in the morning, watched the sunset, went to the gym, went out to the market, but I go into a lot more detail in another video about the activities. Actually, there is another thing. I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier today and she says that she wants something from Sephora. So that was a real reason I popped down to Sephora today. Let me tell you the reason I wanted to go to Sephora. I'm starting my placement tomorrow and I just wanted to do something to relax whilst I'm here by myself. And what better way is there to do that? So I say it. How better to do that? I wanted to relax as follows. I bought this mask from Sephora. I was talking to one of the people there and they packed me a freebie. Is a highlighter primer. I said to the guy, what's a highlighter primer? You just put in your entire face and it highlights you. And he's like, no, you only prime it where you put the highlighter. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. First light priming filter. Ugh, Insta ready. Ugh. This is my motive for tonight. The plan is to use this up. I really like oat milk and it has oats on it, so I thought I'd like this on my face. I can tolerate it. Also, my skin has flared up a little bit since I've gotten here, which is really weird because usually when I leave London my skin gets better and my skin worsens when I get back into London where there's a lot of pollution. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just dehydration or something in my diet. I'll let you know what I think of this. I doubt with 5 uses it's going to make that much of a difference, but let's get this on.